What's up, guys? My name is Alex, aka Big Grim, and welcome to my first review. We're going to start things off tonight with the Japanese Beast Wars Neo Deluxe Class Powerhug. And there's actually a little bit of backstory as to why I'm doing this figure for my first review. I was a huge fan of the Beast Wars series, both the cartoon and the toy line when I was growing up. As far as series go, I think that's my top favorite. It usually ties with G1 when I try to put a list together. And I think of all the toy lines, it's the one I had the most figures of. I was on Toy Nova the other day, and Toy Nova is a toy forum that a few other reviewers on YouTube are running, and it's a really cool place. You guys should really check it out. And on one of the threads, we were talking about the worst figures of all time, and somebody mentioned that none of the figures listed up to that point held a candle to Beast Wars Retracts, which is what Powerhug is a repaint of. And that really stuck out to me because Retracts, I owned Retracts when I was a kid, and he was one of my favorite figures I owned. And so I decided, you know, I'm going to do Retracts for my first review. And I was shopping around the internet, and I couldn't find any good deals on Retracts. I hit up Toy Arena, and there was Powerhug, a repaint that I had never seen before. Great condition. I figured, what the heck, I'll pick him up, I'll do a review. Not a new figure in the sense of something like Power Core Combiners or Hunt for the Decepticons, but a new figure in a sense for me. So, with that out of the way, let's get to the figure. As I mentioned, he is a repaint of Retracts, and one thing I always thought was weird with repaints was that when they do a faction change, Retracts was originally a Predacon, and when he was repainted into Powerhug, he's now a Maximal, which I always thought was weird that, you know, they had insects be Maximals, but whatever. As a repaint, it actually works. I think the repaint actually suits this mold very well. It makes him look very heroic. You can see he's got a blue and silver paint job, mostly blue, and then the silver highlighting the back. Red legs. I really like the gold eyes. I really like the gold bug eyes. And then the mandibles and the tail piece here, as well as the little tabs, are silver as well. And their Powerhug backboard fell off. Their Powerhug actually has a number of features, and they're all spring-loaded, and I love spring-loaded features. First of all, the mandibles on the front here are spring-loaded, so you press this little lever behind his antennas, and they snap closed. So you can grab an opponent and thrash him around a bit. Then on the back, you can see he has a stinger, which is also spring-loaded. You press the tab right behind it, springs down. And then, of course, the big gimmick for this figure, and is actually probably one of the reasons why he's not a huge favorite among some of the collectors, is that since he is a pill bug, he can spring up into a ball. There's these little tabs on his back. You just pull him, and he rolls up. This is actually one of my favorite features of the original Retracts figures. I like playing with this little ball mode. I used to like pretend that his legs help charge an energy beam or something. I don't know. I was 10. What do you want? And one complaint, though, is that it is rather easily triggered. So that is one complaint among reviewers. Another thing you might notice about the figure is that even though he is a deluxe class, because he's a pill bug, he is rather long. Here is Hunt for the Decepticons Bludgeon. That's not really a good view. Hunt for the Decepticons. It's not Hunt for the Decepticons. It's what was that? What was that promotion that they had with the Nest? The Nest Global Alliance. Boy, I cannot believe I forgot what that was. Nest Global Alliance Bludgeon. Can kind of give you an idea. He's about the same length. There's some give and take here with the gun barrel on Bludgeon, and then, you know, the mandibles and the stinger on Powerhug. But so get him out of the way. And now that we're finished looking at the beast mode, let's look at the robot mode. And unfortunately, the robot mode is pretty simple to transform. He is essentially a robot folded up in a bug shell, which is another complaint among collectors. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip him over. You see he's got his legs here, and you're just going to fold those down. One other thing you do right before that is actually fold up these legs. The legs all fold up behind him. Now we'll fold those out of the way, that way they're not kind of dangling and look silly. And you can see it also kind of pulls the hips down. So rotate the hips down, unfold the legs, And those are there. And then I fold this piece down, the leg folds in, kind of forms his mid and lower torso. I guess just mid torso. Then you have this piece here, slips down as his chest, and up flips his head. And then there's two tabs, I mentioned earlier, there's two tabs on the back here in beast mode. You're going to pop those loose. This figure's been seeing his packaging for 14 years. They're still pretty stiff. Pop those loose, and you can see, the spring gimmick going off on its own. Just kind of fold those forward. And there you have Powerhug in robot mode. I really like the paint job on the robot mode. It's, a red, white, and blue. Very heroic looking. The Captain America of Beast Wars, as it were. Another thing I really liked about the Beast Wars toy line was they have the rub signs, and he has a rub sign, and it's, of course, the Maximal faction. It's not really wanting to work for me. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's not wanting to work. And of course, the spring gimmick can be activated in robot mode as well, and come together in a power hug. Gimmick doesn't really translate as well to the robot mode, but that's alright. It's cool looking in beast mode. It's cool looking in robot mode. It's a cool figure. Again, one of my all-time favorite figures from any toy line. One of my favorite paint jobs I've ever seen from any toy line. So, yeah. Japanese Deluxe Class Power Hug. Alright guys, this has been Big Grim, signing off. See you next time. Give Uncle Scrotor a hug. Alright, bye guys.